Yo, what is up guys, Chillfeed here, back bringing you part 2 after testing 10 of the most popular AMARA builds on YouTube. Today we are going to take a closer look at some of the builds from Sintee, from FXGaming, and the Sheriff AMARA build that was, I believe, first uploaded by Derchland, but also Joel's dude uploaded a video about it, and Tickle Me Pink also uploaded a variation of this build to his channel, which is the build I will be showcasing on here, but I will link all 3 build videos down in the description so you guys can check them out. I will follow the same rules as I did with yesterday's part 1 video, so there will be no crazy anointed damage boosts and no elemental projector artifacts, and neutral Mayhem mods only when going into the slaughter shaft on Mayhem mode 3, and of course in true Vault Hunter mode. If you enjoyed this video and found it informative, why not just take a second of your time and leave a like, since it would help me out so much. I'm sorry for bothering you with this every single time, but it's just the way YouTube works, so forgive me for this. I'm also almost at 2,000 subscribers, and it would mean the world to me if you would give me a chance and subscribe to my channel. I also created a Discord server that you can join by clicking on the link in the description, and now without further ado, let's get started with part 2. With this video, we are entering the over 100,000 views territory, and just like that we have the first of 2 Sintee videos with the Mythical Foca endgame build, and let me tell you, I enjoyed the other build on this list from Sintee a lot more than this one. Again, I'm not saying that the Mythical Foca build is bad in any way, and with all of the builds in Borderlands 3, it always comes down to personal preference in my opinion. This build is even close to the build I'm using, but instead of going with the stillness of mind and ties that bind face grasp combination, Sintee chose to go with the face cast action skill, and I'm not a big fan of that action skill unless you have the plus 250% weapon damage bonus from your anointment boost. He was suggesting to use the laser sploder for mobbing, which was exactly what I did, but instead of a fire laser sploder I used my corrosive version for the many armored enemies in the slaughter shaft, and instead of a fire crossroad I was using a cutsman and the brainstormer for shock damage. Maybe the build would have been a little better when using the Rowan's Call like Sintee did in his video a lot, but since the Bloody Harvest event is still ongoing, it's hard to hit consistent crits with the accuracy and recoil debuff after getting hit by a ghost, which you will see later in the showcase of my other Sintee build in this video. And the only difference in this build was that I did use the Last Stand artifact or elemental projector artifact, and instead used the Victory Rush for increased damage and movement speed. Anything else was exactly the same as Sintee suggested in his video, with the face circle class mod and the recharger shield. Overall, a decent and fun build, but just not for me. The next build I was testing was a build that I almost forgot that I tested it yesterday. I guess that speaks of what good of a build this really is. Of course, I'm just kidding. This build is another best AMARA build with the highest DPS. This time it's from Willis Gaming, and he managed to get almost 240,000 views for this, and although he did say that this build was basically for boss killing only, he did say that it was pretty good for mobbing too, so I wanted to give it a try. What I like about this build is that he was using some variation when it comes to gear, even though I believe he only used the cloud kill because he had an anointed version with plus 300% weapon damage after using a face slam. It's actually refreshing to see something else in these builds other than the usual stuff, and the cloud kill is actually a pretty good weapon in my opinion, and of course holds a special place in my heart, and a lot of Borderlands 2 nostalgia is coming with it. He was also using a face puncher shotgun even without using any of the melee damage bonuses from AMARA'S skills. A Cutsman, of course, because it's a Cutsman, just like the Lyuda, of course, because it's a Lyuda. The Facehugger class mod, Brawler Ward Shield, and Victory Rush class mod are all great choices for Amara and was exactly what I used in my video. I just didn't like the build in general, and I don't want to sound too negative with these builds today. It's just that, again, I don't like using the Face Slam or Face Cast without the anointed damage bonus on it, because I think they are not a lot of fun to use, nor are they strong enough for an action skill in my opinion. Please don't get mad at me because of this. Like I said, the Face Puncher was kind of a weird and maybe even bad choice with this build, because he didn't really utilize the melee damage from AMARA'S skills at all, and the Cutsman and Lyuda are probably good with any build on AMARA. Again, just my opinion. I'm not hating or being salty or anything, just my opinion. For the next build, I have 3 variations for you guys down in the description, and like I said in the beginning of the video, I'm using the build of Tickle Me Pink in here because it is the build that I kinda like the most out of the 3 Sheriff AMARA builds on YouTube. But again, just personal preference, and you might like the original build from Derchland or the variation from Joel's dude a bit better, but definitely try at least one of them out. This build is amazingly fun in my opinion. Maybe not so much for the Slaughter Shaft sometimes, but for general mobbing it is just great. The reason why I don't like it for the Slaughter Shaft that much is because you are using the monocle sniper rifle a lot, and to get the maximum damage out of it you have to use it while aiming down sights, and the scope has such a high zoom that makes it hard to use it for anything other than long range. But for the Slaughter Shaft you could use the Unforgiven, even though mine was not doing anything in the footage really. This might have just been because of the accuracy debuff from the Mayhem modifiers, or my aim is just simply bad, which is more likely probably. Unfortunately, I forgot to bring my 1-pump chump with me, and I didn't feel like going back to my flag character and then back to Amara to reload back into the game at least 20 times for neutral Mayhem mods. So please forgive me, and keep in mind that the 1-pump chump is a great alternative for the Slaughter Shaft. This build also makes use of my favorite action skill augment combo, which is Ties That Bind and Stillness of Mind. So not much more to say other than give this build a try if you can.
Shoot that one and thank me later. You want this one? Fully energized.
The second most popular AMARA build video is actually from one of my favorite YouTubers in general for his Monster Hunter videos, which is Arekkz from FXGaming with the ultimate AMARA brawler build. And I know I said in part 1 that I only wanted to use build videos that were uploaded at least a few weeks after release, and this was uploaded only 6 days after release. I still believe that this is one of the best melee builds overall, and I also wanted to include it because I really like his channel, so leave me alone please. I'm not the biggest fan of using melee in almost every video game. I just enjoy shooting guns at enemies a lot more, especially in Borderlands with all the variety in guns, and that's exactly the reason why I love Gearbox for putting a melee damaging gun into Borderlands 3. Unfortunately, I still don't really like using the melee builds because it's kinda unsatisfying to me if you are not able to crit with your weapons, and I also felt that the Face Puncher kinda underperformed compared to, for example, some of the other elemental weapons on AMARA. I was using the Brawler Ward Shield and the Breaker class mod for some additional damage up close, just like Arekkz did in his video, but I didn't have a class mod that boosts the skill Find Your Center, which would have been a huge melee bonus on top, so maybe that's necessary for this build. What I love about these melee builds combined with the Face Puncher is that you can play around with the artifacts a lot. Since many of them give melee bonuses like shock damage, lifesteal or whatever, it's great for variety when you're kinda limited to one weapon and your fists only. In my case I was using the Grave artifact for some extra melee and weapon damage, but I don't know, it still felt kind of weak. I really don't know if I'm missing something or if I did anything wrong, so please let me know down in the comment section if you noticed anything. You guys already know what's coming next. A lot of people refer to this build to be the best build for Amara, and it is also the most popular video on YouTube by far with over 760,000 views, which is of course the Immortal Hellcat build by Sintee again. First of all, I want to apologize for the gameplay footage because I was still getting used to the constant switching between the different elemental weapons, and also, as I mentioned before, these annoying ghosts are still everywhere, which greatly messes up your accuracy and recoil, so please keep that in mind while watching. I also did die once in this footage, which was definitely my fault and not because of the build obviously. I must say that I did definitely enjoy this build a lot, and I can't wait for Gearbox to increase the level cap, so we might be able to also unlock Ties That Bind with this build, which sounds awesome in my opinion. But also in my opinion I was a little underwhelmed with how the build performed in the Slaughter Shaft, considering how many people praise it and how popular it is. That might just be exactly the problem though, and I went into the Slaughter Shaft with maybe expecting a little too much. That being said, the build is still great, it's versatile, it is strong, and it's just fun to play, so definitely one of the best Amara builds to play, and it really deserves to be as popular as it is amongst Borderlands fans. That was it for part 2 of the top 10 most popular Borderlands 3 Amara build videos on YouTube. Let me know down in the comment section which of these 10 are your favorite, or are there even other builds that you like more. Make sure to always share your opinion with me on YouTube or on my Discord server from the link in the description. And if anyone cares about my opinion, the 2 builds other than mine obviously that I definitely enjoyed the most were the Sheriff Amara build and the Immortal Hellcat, with the Nimbus CLASSMOD build by Moxsy from part 1 being the most surprising to me. Of course, the one I'm enjoying the most is my own build, and even though I'm way too biased on this matter, I still recommend you at least check it out if you haven't already. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to leave a like if you found this video to be informative or even enjoyable. Make sure to subscribe and be one of the first people to say,
I was here when you were around 2,000 subs and now you have 1 million. That's crazy.
And with that being said, I hope I see you in my next video.